my anime people. It's good, yo. So we're gonna destroy everybody for Miski this round. Um, I thought Miski was gonna be in a lot more trouble in this week's episode of Boruto, and yes, I am back on Boruto. And if you've watched the opener for this, there are so many freaking spoilers that I had to just... I was trying to skip through it and get to like certain parts, and wound up still seeing spoilers, so there you go. This show needs something, and I don't know what that something is. Um, Excuse me, but I think my biggest problem with it is, like most people who might not like certain characters, you're just not invested in their growth. You're not invested in their overall stands and what they are trying to fighting for. In my opinion, this is gonna do a lot of damage. But because of that, I feel like there's things that could be done so much better that just aren't, because of maybe time, of maybe the author just doesn't understand Naruto the way that the fans do, or because I feel like we've already seen some pretty amazing stuff come out of Boruto, sir. Which is like different designs for different Osuski, which I believe was made by the guy who is making Boruto right now. I'm pretty sure he came up with those designs and stuff for the one that we actually see in the anime, which was way better. But there lies the problem, is there's so much that's going on in the manga already that people have a good idea of what to expect if you're a manga reader and stuff like that. So just from the tiny discussions people were having about Boruto, the manga, it already pretty much told me that there's going to be some awesome stuff popping off. But at the end of the day, Boruto as a whole is truly a show that lives back in the old days. When I say the old days, I am talking, Bleach days, where you can just, well, yeah, Bleach is a good example, and Naruto itself is a good example. It's still living in its old heydays, where all of these episodes, all of these random occurrences are happening, but sometimes they never really hold any gravity towards the story at the end of the day. And I think that's the unfortunate part about Boruto as a whole, is until we get further and further towards the truth of certain aspects of the show, we don't know if it's good, we don't know if it's going to be bad, we don't know if any of the stuff that they're teaching us about are leading to anything more significant than it actually is, or if it's just another play out for the anime to just be like, oh, and then everything went back to normal happily ever after. Because the thing is, when you have something to follow up behind, or you have some type of source material, once you start adding more and more and more of your own originals to the source material, you then start to convolute certain things that never been brought up within the source material. So if those convoluted things are talked up, built up, and made to look as good as, some of the stuff that is actually supposed to go in both of the stories, aka Boruto's curse sign on his hands, and who might be interested in it, that's going to be in both manga and anime. But Hashirama cells, I don't think they've ever been brought up in the manga, you know what I mean? So it's these types of things that give us a little bit more of an opening to be like, okay, so now Boruto knows the significance of Hashirama cells. He already knew his father had some in his arm, but he didn't probably understand why he wanted to use those instead of, like, oh, an Uchiha cell. The other thing about it is, like, where do they even get this Hashirama cell? It's still types of questions that are, of course, going to be answered, but are they going to be answered well? Oh, I was just walking around the Hidden Leaf Village and I found Hashirama's grave, so I dug it up, took a little bit of a cell, and left. Of course, it's not going to be that. It's going to be something along the lines of there was a huge battle, and once that battle was over, I found exactly what I needed to clone more Hashiramas. But regardless, we're going to a new place, the land of the silence, and it's those types of things that really give me a feeling of this anime wants to go on forever. The anime wants Boruto to be a thing for so long that maybe even One Piece or the original Naruto will be the only thing second to Boruto, right? Like, we were pretty surprised when they were already reaching, 100, and they were like, "Oh wow, yeah, 100 episodes. We finally did it, and we want this 100th episode and 101 to look kind of decent," and blah blah blah. Now we're halfway to 200. We're halfway to 200 episodes, and almost nothing happened significant to the actual story, which makes no sense to me. It's if One Piece had only filler, and then this Wano arc that they're in right now, it's finally something, that's actually the source material. But everything up till then was nothing. It was just original to the anime, and you wouldn't see any of it in the manga. Imagine that. It's those weird little things that make you be like, why is this happening, and where is it going? Because that's what was wrong with Naruto as a fan early on, is getting those episodes a mix before we were getting some of the greatness that still made Naruto as great as it is. We had to deal with fillers like this. We had to deal with Naruto fighting a fake Nine Tails that then never gets brought back up in the story ever again, besides a quick little flash peek of him in the sky, of all the people that were helping him create a Rasengan, or just create the notion that Naruto is always surrounded by all of the people who want him to go forward. This is something that I feel like it was cool just because the show had come to its inevitable conclusion, and it used everything that it wanted to use to build up the story. Boruto isn't even close to that yet, right? Or maybe it's closer than I know, and the show's going to end sooner than later. I highly doubt it. But if all this stuff leads up to being cool, and it leads up to being well done, that would be the huge cause to be like, okay, Boruto actually did something really, really cool, and that was, A, B, C. And since we're already at almost freaking H and K, we'll just let them do that, And that's where I've been. I just let it build, see what they're actually going to use from the anime to build up more of a story narrative for us, because at this point, it just feels oversaturated with filler, and this Hashirama cell stuff feels no different, right? Like, it feels like at any good given time, this whole story can just come to an inevitable end, and nothing would be missed, nothing would be, overall left out at the end of the day, because this Hashirama cell stuff is so dangerous and poisonous to, humans. If you're not Mitsuki, you pretty much just die, so why is it such a high price to just die? And that's because if you obtain this power, you're going to be strong enough to maybe take on most of the people in the Hidden Lift Village. I mean, the Berserker version of this guy can break out of a two-man sealed jutsu, which is saying something clear, I guess, because they were like freaking out about it. But at the end of the day, we as the Naruto fans know this could mean nothing, because Boruto the whole time did not want to actually injure the guy because of the request he got from the daughter. And we also know that this is something Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura all would have probably have done, which makes it that much better for Boruto to continue to not want to be like his father, even though all the situational stuff he's put in, he most likely handles it like his father would. So take that as you will, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I'm thinking about just making the doctor show on this game. I haven't played Jump Force in quite some time. I don't think anybody's mad that I haven't played it in that all that time as well, so there's that. But overall, I hope you guys are definitely enjoying yourself. I will talk to you sooner than later. So with that being said, take care and peace.